Where did the comedy start for you? Because we were talking before we started rolling. I didn't know this. You went to school for sports journalism just like I
Yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah.
So like you have the same background, which I love. So where did the comedy fit in? Were you just talking shit to people online about
More like
sports
getting
or yeah?
shit talked to.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Comedy came in pretty early. You know, I was raised by a single mom, and she brought me up on all the old SNL clips from the 90s.
Yeah.
And, Chris Farley and Will Ferrell back in the early days. And it was just me and her. And so she was my first audience. And then my family became my audience. And, you know, at age 5, I was crawling under dinner tables, tying my uncle and my great-grandpa's shoes together. And
It's not where I thought you were going with that.
but it was always like, I was always trying to like entertain just kind of naturally. It started there. And in college, I made some funny videos in addition to doing some sports journalism stuff, which was always kind of the trajectory that I had in mind. I was like, oh, I'll be on Sports Center one day. This would be rad. And I was doing on-camera interviews with a lot of student athletes in college. And then post-college, I moved down to LA, had a huge love for the process of filmmaking from everything I had done in college. And also had a huge love throughout my whole life for comedy because of what my mom raised me with. So I put both of those things together when I got to LA, and I just dove right into the open mic scene and the improv and sketch comedy scene.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anybody out here. I had like my roommate and maybe one other friend, but I didn't have any friends in comedy. And it was like, it's tough, dude. Starting off in comedy is tough already. But when you start in LA, it's like learning how to swim in the Bermuda Triangle. It's
Good
nuts.
luck.
Yeah, good luck. And so, you know, that was my early days in comedy out here were really like self-reliant. Like I didn't have anybody else to rely on. I didn't have a crew. I didn't have homies in the scene.
Yeah.
I was very much trying to figure it all out.
Going back now, you mentioned, you know, your mom, she was a single mother. You didn't have your dad in your life. You talked about the comedy that you guys kind of found together. Was that something that brought you together, not just to laugh, but also to heal as a coping mechanism between you two?
Sure. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I haven't really thought of it like that before, Mr. Therapist. It's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, you know, whenever you can bond over something together, it does help you connect with that person in ways that maybe connections are lacking because of the void that somebody else has left, or the void that an experience has left.
Yeah.
So it's not like my dad was never there, but I was with my mom, and my dad slowly but surely became less and less part of my life as I got older. So having like something to share joy over was really a huge kind of part of our relationship. And that is for sure a huge part of my mission and purpose now, is to create opportunities for people to share and joy together over the things that I make and put into the world, in the hopes that maybe there's another, you know, mom and son or pair of friends or whatever that are going to bond over some silly little thing I made, or one day movies and TV, and find their own like connection that was rooted in joy.
That is like the perfect, most emotional answer, connecting you and your mom.
Cool.
I do feel like I'm like a proud therapist now, even though
You nailed it.
Even though I'm not.
That's $111 per hour.
Yeah, exactly. Nah, that's kind of low. But having that with your mom subconsciously, now you can look back, and that was starting to spark and inspiring you. She had you when she was what, 22?
Yeah.
How did that affect you watching her raise you while she's still growing up herself?
She's like my best friend, dude. We were like homies. She brought me to Grateful Dead shows. She brought me to music festivals. I was the little hippie toddler running around, you know. So it was cool. I had a rad childhood. It was super fun. I was, you know, wanting for nothing. It was great. So I have no complaints about my childhood. It was really cool. She probably has some complaints about her 20s.
Yeah.
And not being able to go to the club or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a great time, man.
Do you think... Yeah, I mean, the comedy started, you said, like 5, 6 years old. You guys would you know, watch stuff together. And then growing up, did you realize how that friendship with your mom was unique, not having, you know, your father around as much as he was early in your life? Did you find that bond to be more special the older you got?
Yeah, 100%. And I still do. And I probably always will uncover new importances and new aspects of our relationship that are driving me forward
Sure.
in a cool way. I love my mom. She's my best friend, dude. She taught me about life even when she doesn't even know it, and she's helped me, stay on the ledge, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been great, man, and yeah, she's helped me understand balance.